Okay, so you know what? Today we're going to have a little fun. We're going to take a popular conspiracy theory for a spin. We're going to just assume the Earth is flat. But, and this is a big but, we're keeping one crucial rule. We are not turning off physics. Let's see what the unyielding laws of gravity would really do to a flat planet. All right, let's just do it. For the sake of argument, for the next few minutes, the world is a giant flat disk. But here's the catch. Gravity stays on. Mass still attracts mass. And this is where our brand new flat world immediately starts to run into some, let's call them significant problems. You see, swapping a sphere for a disk might seem like a simple change in geometry, but it makes one fundamental, world-breaking change to how gravity behaves. And it all comes down to a single, simple concept: the center of mass. The center of mass. It sounds kind of technical, but it's actually a pretty simple idea with absolutely massive implications. Just think of it as the one single point where all of an object's gravitational pull is concentrated. Everything with mass is pulled towards this one spot, and that one spot is the key to understanding why our flat Earth is about to get very, very weird. And here it is. This is the core issue. On our familiar spherical Earth, the center of mass is deep, deep beneath our feet, right in the planet's core. So gravity pulls us down. Makes sense, right? Simple. But on a flat disk, the center of mass is right in the middle of its surface. Let's just call it the North Pole for simplicity. This means gravity doesn't pull you down anymore. It pulls you inward, sideways. So what would that actually feel like? Let's find out. Come on, let's take a walk. We'll start at the very center of our new flat Earth and head out toward the edge. This is where things start to get really strange. Okay. So right at the exact center, everything feels pretty normal. Gravity's pulling you straight down. But then you take a few steps away from that center point, and you start to feel it. A weird sideways pull. The further you walk, the stronger that pull gets. The ground is perfectly, totally flat, but it feels like you're climbing a ridiculously steep hill because gravity is constantly trying to drag you back to the middle.
And here's the crucial part, the big twist. When you finally reach the so-called edge, you don't fall off into space. No way. By this point, the pull of gravity is almost completely horizontal. For you, the ground feels like a sheer cliff face. That great ice wall at the edge of the world, it's not a wall you stand on. It's a wall you have to cling to for dear life, or you'll fall down it all the way back to the center of the world.
But you know what? This weird sideways gravity isn't just a problem for people trying to take a walk. It affects everything that has mass. I'm talking every drop of water, every molecule of air. And that's where our little thought experiment turns into a full-blown catastrophe. Just think about it for a second. If that inward pull is strong enough to make a perfectly flat piece of ground feel like a cliff, what do you think happened to the Pacific Ocean? What about our entire atmosphere? They have to obey the exact same laws of physics.
Exactly. They couldn't fight it. Every single ocean, every sea, every river on the planet would have been dragged from the edges, flowing downhill toward that one single center of mass. And the result is one of the most catastrophic landscapes you could possibly imagine.
Let's just paint the full picture of this disaster, shall we? All of the planet's water has formed a single, gigantic, bulging ocean right in the middle. The atmosphere did the exact same thing, creating this thick, high-pressure dome right over the water. So the center of the world is now a crushing, deep-sea environment, and the outer edges, they're a barren, airless vacuum, basically the surface of the moon. Okay, so the planet is physically ruined. It's a complete disaster. But let's imagine humanity somehow survived being washed into a central death ocean. What about all our stuff? Our technology, our infrastructure? Well, the consequences are immediate, and they are devastating. Every single GPS satellite, which needs a spherical Earth to even function, is now just useless space junk in a completely unstable orbit. We've instantly violated dozens of international treaties on orbital slots, and can you even imagine being an air traffic controller? The whole concept of a flight path is just gone. So, on top of creating a totally uninhabitable planet, you've also dismantled global travel and communication. It's probably safe to say you should expect a very strongly worded letter, if not a massive class action lawsuit, from pretty much every airline on Earth. And all of this just goes to show how elegantly and beautifully physics works on our spherical home. You change one tiny variable, and you get complete and utter chaos. So while it's a really fun thought experiment, it seems that for, life, travel, and not getting crushed by our own atmosphere, round is probably the way to go. Thanks for joining.